Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for the show with no name, so get ready for liftoff.
10,
Come on.
9, 8,
I
7,
need you to count
6,
down with me,
5,
folks.
4,
3,
2,
come on.
1, 0. Ignition.
Here we go.
Liftoff. Liftoff.
Let's get going. Show with no name time.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. And get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time. On Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name.
Let's go. Go. Welcome, folks. Welcome. Welcome to all the show with no namers. You make the show. I make the show for you, and you make it every day. We make it together. And then I do the show. ¿Ves la diferencia? Hacemos, lo componemos. No, I do the shows. Yo lo llevo a cabo. Right? But you guys do all the challenges. And wow, I was, this morning, as I was preparing the script, I was thinking a little bit about yesterday's show. And wow. We had tons of participation from our show with no namers who were participating in all the different challenges. How many challenges are there? That's a good question. We've got pop quiz. That's one. Say what soundbite. 2. News report is not a challenge. Life hacks. That's not a challenge. Spelling bee. Homophones. Double trouble. Famous birthdays. Name that movie. That's 7 different challenges. Plus, I'm always putting you to the test. Let's be honest. And in your pop quiz, you always get 3 challenges. Well, why not? As you know, the pop quiz is where we take a look at a wide range of different materials to help you improve your English. Materials that you can find over at vaughntienda.com, or you can always go in person. There's something about being face-to-face in the same room as the person. It's the difference between, going to a movie and going to the theater. No, en el teatro lo sientes. When that person speaks, those sound waves are hitting you in the face. It's not going through a TV being transmitted. No. If the person's singing, you can actually feel those notes. And that's why we get, sometimes we get goosebumps, or our hair stands on end when something is just impressive. Not only when we're scared as well. It's like, when we cry, tears of joy, como decimos, no? Lágrimas de felicidad. Because, it happens to me sometimes. I'll just start thinking about my daughter or something, something like that. Something that really, pulls on your heartstrings. ¿No? Nosotros decimos tira de los cabos, de las cuerdas de tu corazón, ¿no? Algo conmovedor, algo, something meaningful, algo con sentido. And sometimes, well, as with many of you, I'm sure, sometimes we get choked up. Again, to get choked up, lo vimos, yo creo, esta semana mismo. To get choked up is to get emotional, to sob. To sob is another way of saying to cry. Another way to say it, to weep. You might know it if you're a Beatles fan. Still my guitar gently weeps. What a great song it is. All right, we're already learning with music, fun, a little bit of humor as always. So why don't we get things started with a little listening exercise called the Say What Soundbite.
Say what?
Yes. Slow motion. You could tell that I was a fan of Motormouth Jones. Was that his name? The guy from Police Academy, el de Loca Academia de Policía. Michael Winslow, was that his name? Man, whoa. You guys remember that guy? He made every sound under the sun with his mouth. Talk about talent. And he was a decent actor too, you know. But wow, I can just imagine that guy as a kid, like, you know, just starting with clicking noises and then saying, oh, wait, listen to that siren. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You know, so, hey, imagine that. He was getting paid to play when he was doing those Police Academy movies. You call it Loca Academia de Policía. I used to love those movies. That was when movies didn't have to have such a message, I think. No había necesidad de tener una moraleja. It was just like to entertain you. There's our objective. Wow, think about it. What a concept. Just going to entertain you. Make you laugh. Make you have a couple serious moments where, whoa, that was close. A car chase. No, lo típico, una persecución. You don't have to break the mold too much. Oh, man. Police Academy. And recently in Madrid, we have the stunt show at Parque Warner, one of our theme parks in Madrid. They had the stunt show and it closed like 2 months ago after 23 years. I think it was 23 years since the beginning of the park. They had a show where they did stunts with motorcycles and cars and all that stuff. It was a lot of fun. So we'll see. Now, the bar is really high. Está el listón super alto. I guess that's why the show lasted so long. Porque duró tanto. No, de efectos especiales y todo esto. Also, guys, before I give you the Say What soundbite, a quick reminder. If you want to participate in our question of the week, you can do that. A nice round of applause for Elena, Alberto, and Turani. They have already participated. Get it to me before the end of the day on Wednesday, and we will be doing that on Thursday. So, take note, we've changed the day for now, for the time being. For the time being, lo vimos ayer. Es una forma muy nativa de decir por ahora. For the time being. So please practice your speaking. I'd love to be able to help you with that. You can join so many students who learn with us every week. They practice speaking and then get feedback. And again, you're not just going to get feedback from your audio, but, you know, when I correct Nuria's mistake or something that was mispronounced by whoever, I'm just saying any random names, you know, Alberto, let's just say. Well, that's, you know, that's kind of a cue, pie, señal, for all of you to take note, because it's usually something that is a common mistake, which is good. That means we can attack where we need to attack, right? If we know there's a wound, why are we going to treat your whole arm if the wound, la herida, está en tu dedo, right? So that's why it's really good to highlight these common mistakes, make you aware of them, and then make you practice them, to practice saying them the right time. You know what every student I've ever had could use a little practice with? People are. O sea, cógete todos los adjetivos del mundo. People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. The Doors. People are funny. People are crazy. Para que no vuelvas a decir people is en tu vida. But again, you've got to say it more times correctly than incorrectly. And that's why we're always stressing here the importance of saying things aloud. So that said, if you'd like to practice your speaking, send us an audio note. You can send it to my email address, aalonso@grupovon.com. Send it to me before the end of the day on Wednesday every week for the time being. And we will take a look at this on Thursday. On Thursday's show, we'll be hearing from so many amazing students. Hopefully, we'll be hearing from you as well. And this one's a bit deep, okay? What has been the toughest phase in your life so far? Okay, and how did you deal with it? Or how are you dealing with it? Hey, it might be right now, right? So, what has been the toughest phase or stage, se puede decir también, chapter, decimos lo mismo, capítulo, in your life? And how are you getting through it? How did you manage to overcome it? Because, well, that's the important part, not just the adversity, the things that happen to us, but how we choose to deal with them, lidiar con ellos, and move on and find happiness in other things because that happens sometimes. Deaths happen. We don't live forever. So, okay, well, when my grandpa died, that was the end of my life. Okay, it's a sad moment and it's tough, but you've got to move on. In fact, I know if I talk to your grandpa would say, yeah, what I want is for you to move on. I want you to be happy. I don't want you to think of the sad fact that I'm not here. I want you to think about the great times we had together. And if you cry, may they be tears of joy. So we're getting a little bit deep this week. What has been the toughest phase in your life so far? And we look forward to hearing from all of you. And those of you who have already participated, Elena, Durani, and Alberto, if you want to start working on the next one for the following week, what's your motto? Ahí lo tienes. ¿Cuál es tu eslogan en la vida? What's your motto? Okay, you can say, I have a lot, but I really want you to think about what is that one phrase, that one sentence that guides you through your life, all right? And that is the following week. So this week, what has been the toughest phase of your life thus far, and how have you dealt with it, or how did you deal with it? And next week, we'll be taking a look at what's your motto, ¿no? Porque decimos en inglés, okay, what goes around comes around. That's my motto, ¿no? Lo que viene por ahí es la idea de karma. What goes around comes around. That is mi eslogan, ¿no? We say words to live by, right? Words to live by. These words, nos guiamos por estas palabras en nuestra vida, right? If you think about it that way. So I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. Let's see who we're going to hear from in today's Say What soundbite. As always, here you'll hear a lot of different people in a lot of different situations, all different accents, cadences, dialects. You'll hear the gamut. ¿Te suena la gama? The gamut. So this is a good way to practice your listening and train your ear, formar ese oído, to all the different sounds that you'll hear in English, because English is spoken by Scottish people, Australian people. Again, if you just think of Spain, does everybody in Spain speak the same Spanish? Do the people in Canarias sound like the people in San Sebastián? Not de los Reyes. I mean, San Sebastián in the north. Well, either one. Do they? Not at all. Not at all. And that's beautiful. That's a great thing. But we've got to be ready to understand all kinds of different things. Even me as a native speaker, I'll hear an Australian sometimes and I'll say, what the? What? I got to really open up my ear and pay attention. Whereas if I'm listening to one of my best friends tell me a story, I don't have to, I can half listen because I already, know what that person sounds like. I don't have to. But if somebody comes in saying, I went to my bead, have you heard this one? Bead. I think we've looked at it before on the show. I'll never forget the first time I heard it. I was working with a girl from New Zealand. There was a first time for everything. And she goes, oh, I can't wait to go to my bead. I'm like, your bead? Lentejuela? Right? A bead is, these things that are sometimes designer things. No, I can't wait to go to my bead. And I just kept, I'm like, I don't know where you're going here. What do you mean? What is a bead? Is a bead something? She goes, bead, B-E-D, B-E-D, bead. I'm like, you mean bed? Bed? Really? So, yeah, they say we speak the same language, but I'm not too sure. So this is a little bit about comprehension, about training your ear for different situations, different accents, and of course, about summing up what you heard, being able to take information and relay that information, transmitirlo, to someone else, in this case, me and your fellow students. And you'll have four chances to get all of these words. Now, I don't think it's a tough one today. We'll take a look. We'll see by the amount of people that participate and how close they are to what's actually being said. And as you know, at the end of the show, we always take a look at who it is, what's being said, any weird pronunciation things that they may have done, and all that jazz. Y todo eso. So, without any further ado, here's your Say What soundbite for the first time, amigos.
Well, first of all, if you think about the title, Set the Night to Music, you don't want to just have one kind of music. I mean, maybe somebody has an evening where, there's nothing, it doesn't go anywhere.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. Your chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk, que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender. Y lo sabes.
And you know it. That's right, folks. You can pick up This Book is the Shit, This Book is the Milk, This Book is the Milk too, English Everywhere, or English on the Go. Those are my 5 books. They're all available at Von Tienda, Casa del Libro, Amazon, and ¿qué voy a decir? A ver si te sabes la frase. Wherever fine books are sold. But we are not taking a look at one of my books in today's Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. No way, Jose. Pop Quiz. Come on, come on, come on. Pop Quiz. Let's go, go, go. Get up, get up, get up. Pop Quiz. Yeah. Pop. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz.
Common mistake. Work like, work as. My students often say, I work like a manager. If it's your position, the correct form is, I work as a manager. Work like describes behavior. For example, I work like a slave. Work as describes your role. For example, I work as an engineer, or she works as a consultant. These distinctions are crucial in interviews, and they're exactly the kind of details we train in the Executive Master at Grupo Baugan.
More information about the Executive Master, just go to our website, grupovon.com. Also, if you're on social media, you can find us there as well. All right, folks, it is time to take a look at what I believe is the backbone of the Vaughn method, and it is our translation booklet. It has got everything from A to Z. And of course, it comes with audio, so you can try and imitate the sounds that you're hearing. So let's listen to a little excerpt right now, and you know I'm going to have a couple questions for you afterwards.
Tienes la camiseta puesta al revés. You have your t-shirt on backwards. Quítatela. Take it off. Póntela de esta manera. Put it on this way. Se supone que la llevas de esta forma. You're supposed to wear it this way.
Menos mal que te diste cuenta.
It's a good thing you realized.
Soy muy observador.
I'm very observant.
Presto atención a los detalles.
I pay attention to details.
¿Has puesto el despertador?
Have you set the alarm clock?
¿A qué hora sonará?
What time will it go off?
Se me pegaron las sábanas esta mañana.
I overslept this morning.
No puedes permitirte el lujo de quedarte dormido.
You can't afford to oversleep.
No soporto madrugar.
I can't stand getting up early.
Me cuesta horrores levantarme.
I have a terrible time getting up.
Tardo 1 hora en despejarme la cabeza.
It takes me an hour to clear my head.
Dejo el despertador en el baño.
I leave the alarm clock in the bathroom.
Eso me obliga a levantarme para apagarlo.
That forces me to get up to turn it off.
No soporto cuando suena.
I can't stand it when it goes off.
Es un sonido que me vuelve loco.
It's a sound that drives me crazy.
¿Sigues buscando un empleo?
Are you still looking for a job?
Lo he dejado.
I've given up.
¿Cómo piensas mantener a tu familia?
How do you plan to support your family?
He podido ahorrar mucho con los años.
I've been able to save a lot over the years.
¿Cuánto dinero tienes ahorrado?
How much money do you have saved up?
Gracias a mi abuela, casi 1 millón.
Thanks to my grandmother, almost 1 million.
Si lo gestiono bien, durará muchos años.
If I manage it well, it'll last a lot of years.
Relájate.
Relax.
¿Por qué no te quitas esos horribles pendientes?
Why don't you take off those horrible earrings?
Estás mejor sin ellos.
You look better without them.
Pareces cansada.
You look tired.
¿Quieres que te traiga algo de beber?
Do you want me to bring you something to drink?
Me da la impresión de que no avanzo.
I feel like I'm not progressing.
Eso pasa a todos los alumnos.
That happens to every student.
Estoy estancada en el nivel intermedio.
I'm stuck at the intermediate level.
La curva de aprendizaje no es siempre lineal.
The learning curve isn't always linear.
Hay fases en las que se aplana.
There are phases in which it levels out.
¿Y qué debo hacer?
And what should I do?
Debes continuar haciendo el mismo esfuerzo.
You should continue making the same effort.
Pero no noto progreso.
But I don't notice any progress.
Ya comenzarás a notarlo pronto.
You'll start noticing it again soon.
Es un poco como la crisis de los 40.
It's a bit like the midlife crisis.
O sea, lo superaré.
In other words, I'll get over it.
Por supuesto que sí.
Of course you will.
Tengo que alcanzar un buen nivel para mayo.
I have to reach a good level by May.
No te obsesiones con este tema.
Don't get obsessed with this subject.
Pero mi trabajo depende de ello.
But my job depends on it.
No te van a despedir.
They're not going to fire you.
¿Cómo puedes estar tan seguro?
How can you be so sure?
Vas a tener un jefe nuevo pronto.
You're going to have a new boss soon.
¿Cómo lo sabes?
How do you know? A partir de mayo seré yo tu nuevo jefe.
Starting in May, I'll be your new boss.
All right, folks, there we go. Wow, some really good structures in there. Pegar las sábanas, despejar la cabeza, me vuelve loco, mantener barra apoyar, ahorrar, wow, aplanar, really good vocabulary. You might be familiar with some of it. If not, we'll take a look at that and so much more when we come back from this quick commercial break. So, stick around. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. This is part 2 of today's show with No Name here on Vaughn Radio. Remember, you can learn English with all of my amigos throughout the day. Vamos a decirlo a lo largo de. Throughout the day, you can learn English with all of my amigos. Start your day with my buddy Rob Grams, the host of the Pro Bow Show. He also hosts the Lunchtime Show, so you get a double dose of Rob Grams. If you just can't get enough, you got them twice. You've also got Fitz. You just heard Fitz in the audio in the translation booklet with yours truly. Fitz is the host of No Excuses, and it is a master class with our teacher trainer. You've also got Speaking with Confidence with Ale, an international girl. Lady. Her kids are bilingual. That's what happens when you've lived in many, many places. And then you've also got another person in that category, well-traveled. She's got a lot of that language, culture, and culture in general. I'm talking about Speak English with Ruby. And then you've got the Zen Master, Jules Linares. And her program is Let's Get Random. We've also got The Salad with Dave Boys, Drive Time with Kyle Miller. You got Richard Vaughn Live. You got Chris Frank and Frankly Speaking. And of course, Jessica Fernandez and The Hour to Empower. All of these programs are available on the Vaughn Radio app, so if you don't have it, download it. You can also download your favorite programs on whatever podcast platform you choose to use. Hey, I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Whichever one you choose to use. But you just can't lose. All right, now I'm trying. So, my amigos, you have no excuses. You can learn English all day for free. You can even keep Vaughn Radio on in the background when you're going about your day, when you're doing other things. We get it. Everybody is used to this multitasking thing. So, yeah, you're at the gym and you're learning English at the same time. Why not kill two birds with one stone? All right, let me give you the Say What soundbite. I'm going to give it to you right now for the second time. As I said, I don't think it's too tough today, but we shall see. So here we go, amigos. Your Say What soundbite for the second time.
Well, first of all, if you think about the title, Set the Night to Music, you don't want to just have one kind of music. I mean, maybe somebody has an evening where, there's nothing, it doesn't go anywhere.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. but I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports, but I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damián, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right, folks. This book is the shit. You can pick it up at vaughantienda.com or wherever fine books are sold. But today we're taking a look at our translation booklet. You've got over 6,000 different phrases. And you, my students, you know how to make that 24. No, wait, let's see. 4 times 4 different ones. 16,000. Okay, no. A ver, si son 8. See, here we go with my math here. Si son 6,000. What did I say? 6,000? 8. Now I don't remember. Let's see. Translation booklet. We're going to do the math right here just to prove to you that I can. Translation booklet de Vaughan. All right, so here's what we do. Because as you guys know, you've got the translation that you've got in front of you. And then after that, you've got, of course, let's say it's an affirmative. Well, you can make it a negative. Then you can turn it into a question, and then you can turn it into an indirect question. So really, 6,000 times 4, that is 24,000 different sentences. 24,000. For the person who knows how to say, okay, it's a book. Frase de página 1. It's a book. Y primero no vale decir it's a. O it is. No, it's a. So, una cosa también es, me la sé, pero lo sabes. So, it's a book. It's a book. Perfecto. Afirmamos. Negamos. It isn't a car. It isn't. No, it isn't, right? It isn't. It isn't a car. Okay. ¿Qué es? What is it? No, what is it? What is it? Okay. And la indirecta, do you know what it is? ¿Sabes qué es? Que es parecido igual en estructura a la afirmación. So that's a way where you take one sentence and you turn it into 4. And you want to even go a little crazier? You can also make it plural. So I said, what was the first one I said? It's a car. Okay, they are cars. Afirmamos, son coches. They are cars. They're, se contrae they are y suena como ahí. They're cars. Okay. ¿Qué son? What are they? Muy bien. No son camiones. They aren't trucks. Do you know what they are? Pregunta indirecta. And that's how you know that you don't just know one translation, but you get the structure behind the translation, and you can flip it any which way. That's how you master the language and the mechanics of what is the language. All right, here's what I want from you guys in our pop quiz. ¿Esa nueva montaña rusa va boca abajo? That's the first one. Esa nueva montaña rusa, hey, this is right up my alley, ¿no? Esto es justo lo que me gusta a mí. ¿Esa nueva montaña rusa va boca abajo? O sea, pregunta. Number 2, ¿tienes la camiseta al revés? Now, al revés, let me explain here. I mean, la etiqueta está por fuera. The tag is outside. No es que lo has puesto la parte delante detrás. Miraremos la diferencia, ¿ok? Yo digo lo típico, un calcetín que nos pasa muchas veces. Que dices, oh, espera, right? Está al revés. La parte que está fuera debería estar dentro. That's what I mean. Because I know in Spanish, it's got several meanings. That's why we're looking at it. Okay, so number 2, tienes la camiseta al revés. Okay, and the third one, we're looking at 2 different verbs here. Puse la alarma. Sonará a las 6 de la mañana. Okay, we looked at all of this vocabulary in this audio from our translation booklet. Again, you can pick it up at Von Tienda. And if you get through this book, I mean, you're really a master of all the different structures. But remember, getting through the book is not saying itis or not just reading it in your head. It's reading it aloud and quickly. No? Está en la mesa. ¿Dónde está? Right? Let's try. Like I tell my students, this is the speed you want to go. Pero ahora esto es difícil porque me doy yo la traducción. Pero bueno, I'm going to wing it, improvisar, okay? ¿Dónde estás? Where are you? Estoy aquí. I'm here. Llevo esperando 2 horas. I've been waiting for 2 hours. Pero no dijiste que ibas a venir antes, but didn't you say you were going to come sooner? ¿Ves como no hay ninguna? I'm just going like, pum, pum. Pero lo averigüé, but I figured it out. That's what we're looking for. That speed where you don't even have to go to your head. Your head goes there automatically. But that comes from, exposing yourself to the language and practicing it. That's it. There's no other secret. So number 1, ¿esa nueva montaña rusa va boca abajo? Number 2, tienes la camiseta al revés. Etiqueta por fuera. Okay? And 3, puse la alarma. Sonará a las 6 de la mañana. All right? And that word alarma, I've heard a lot of people say alarm. No, alarma, no, alarm. Alarm. ¿Ves dónde va el estrés y cómo se pronuncia? Alarm. All right, so I don't mean to alarm you, but those are your pop quiz challenges. A couple things I wanted to highlight too that we also heard: to oversleep. If you oversleep, usually the first word you say in the morning is, oh, shit, right? Because that means you didn't plan it. When you sleep in, that's excellent. That's like, oh, tomorrow morning, I don't have class. It's a Saturday morning. I'm going to sleep in. And then my daughter comes in, and that dream is just that, a pipe dream. A pipe dream es un sueño que nunca va a pasar. And it's free to dream, though. So to oversleep, Home Alone. Piensa en Home Alone if we apply it to a movie. To oversleep is, oh, no. Here we go. Here, the adventure starts now. And to sleep in is, oh, man, this is nice. Rainy Saturday morning. I don't have to work. Wow, I'm going to sleep in a little bit. Oh, dormir un poco más que la cuenta. En ambos casos, es sleep, slept, slept, right? I overslept yesterday, and I slept in last weekend. So, otra vez, en ambos casos son irregulares porque emplean el verbo sleep, que es irregular. To afford, poder costear, pero también permitirse el lujo. Normalmente se usa con can. I can't afford to do that. I can afford to. Acuérdate con la diferencia en can and can't. Cuando decimos can, decimos can. Escucha. I can speak Spanish. I can't speak Chinese. No? I can speak English, porque el can no es importante ahí. Es cuando es can't que hay que darle énfasis. Además de tener una T que el otro no tiene. Pero escucha. Say it with me. Dilo. Vosotros podéis decir la misma frase. I can speak English, porque es verdad. I can, como icono, right? Icon. I can eat, I can speak English. I can't speak Russian. Okay? So we use that with I can't afford to do that. And I can afford to. ¿Ves como el can se pierde como can? Okay? The next one, to clear your head. Yo siempre decía, voy a aclarar mi cabeza. See, hey, you live and learn. Así se aprende. You, as I always tell you guys here on the show, you aren't the only ones learning. I'm always taking notes too. Obligar, to force. You're not going to force me to do anything. You can say obligate, but it's not as common. Man, I don't like doing things when I feel forced, or things that feel forced. Forzados, obligados, so same kind of idea. I can't stand. Eso la usó Fitz muchas veces en el audio. No aguanto, no soporto. How would you say, él me pone loco? Me vuelve loco. He drives me crazy. Yeah, I know a lot of times people want to say, he makes me crazy. ¿Se puede decir? No creo que es incorrecto, pero es más común usar the collocation, she drives me crazy. I can't help myself. All right. Also, we got the word support. This can be financially or emotionally. La diferencia entre mantener a alguien y apoyar a alguien. Right? To save up. Ahorrar. I got to save up. We've looked at that one too. There's an expression that we can get from a Madonna song. Only boys that save their pennies make my rainy day. Oh, 'cause we are living in a material world. I know I slowed it down, but I'm trying to stick to the beat here. It's difficult. So, la expresión is save your pennies for a rainy day. Right? So that's why Madonna says, only boys that save their pennies make my rainy day. Also, we looked at you're better off without. Estás mejor sin. You're better off without her. Right? If she treats you bad. Estar atascado, to be stuck. Right? Si es un váter, what do we say? It's clogged. The toilet is clogged. Right? Y si es una impresora, the printer is jammed. Madre mía. Yeah. Hey, bueno, que sepas, not the same word. To level out. Level is nivel, ¿no? A nivel, si algo está nivelado, it's level. De hecho, un nivel, you know, this thing where you can see if something is level, that's called a level. I love when things make sense like that. Okay? And a partir de, Fitz said it a different way, pero también se me ocurrió uno que también se usa. No me acuerdo cuál usó él. Starting next Monday, dijo. También se puede decir, apunta, as of next Monday, we will be doing birthdays in the big room instead of the small room. All right? So there you go. Just a couple things I wanted to point out from that audio. But as I said, if you want much, much more, you can pick that material up at Von Tienda's translation booklet. Let's see who's with us in our virtual chat room. Chris Valrol in the house. She says, morning lively and lovely show with no namers. Hello. Hello, Chris. How you doing? Great to have you on board with us. I know you're ready to rock. I don't even have to ask. Chris is also participating in our Say What soundbite. She says, I heard an American woman who may be a singer. Absolutely. Nailed it. Clavado. Okay. I can't be specific, but she talks about music. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a musician, an artist, a recording artist talking about, well, music and one of her albums, I should say, right? She says something, the title. So right there, we can get some key info. We can even find out who the artist is if you're able to hear the name. You know, she says, the title is tal. Pues ahí vas a Google y pones el disco tal. Ya sabes quién es. My detectives. So great, Chris. Excellent. Born to Iron Man says, Good morning, everyone. How is your morning going, buddies? Well, great. Now that you're here with us, having a rockin' time. Let's see. Chris Valrol, she's participating in our pop quiz right now. And she says, is that new roller coaster upside down? All right, the word is correct. But we would use the structure, porque no es que está boca abajo, pero va boca abajo, right? So that would mean like the whole thing. Lo han hecho al revés, no está boca abajo, right? But does the new roller coaster go upside down? Eso sería si va, ¿no? Yo sé, mi hija me pregunta, Daddy, does that go upside down? I'm like, yeah, it has 3 inversions. Cuidado, inversion no es una inversión que voy a poner dinero en la bolsa. Es ir boca abajo, right? Investment es una inversión, ¿no? Propiedad, dinero, lo que sea, la bolsa. So they're false friends. So, for example, no se me ocurre uno. Shambhala doesn't have any inversions. It doesn't go upside down. So excellent job. I would change it there. So does that new roller coaster go upside down? Great. También se puede decir, does it have any loops? Pero luego puedes decir, well, no, but it goes upside down, porque no tiene que ser un loop. Puede ser un corkscrew. No, hay otras formas. So the direct way to ask that question, si va boca abajo, does it go upside down? All right, let's see. Chris, then she says, your shirt's on backwards. All right, well, this is what I was trying to avoid here. And now Fitz said backwards. But now I don't know if this is maybe an Irish thing or not, but for us in the United States, backwards means that you have a pocket t-shirt. No, estos que tienen la camiseta que tiene el bolsillo aquí y el bolsillo está atrás. Right, I did it with my daughter the other day. I put on something of hers and the pocket was in the back. I'm like, oops, that's backwards. It's not the one I'm looking for, though, because this one is que cuando salió de la secadora, pues no metí la mano y lo saqué the sleeves and all that. So backwards it does have a meaning. It's not the one that I was looking for exactly, but yes, backwards means it's facing the wrong way. Okay, let's take a look. The next one, she says, I set the alarm. It'll go off at 6 a.m. No, better at 7. Great. To set the alarm, lo bueno del verbo set, every day I set the alarm. Yesterday I set the alarm, and lately I've, eso es, set the alarm. O sea, set. Facilísimo. Okay, we also use it para concretar una reunión. That verb set is a very rich one there. So I set the alarm, it'll go off. Ahora, esto confunde, por eso quería mirarlo. To go off suena como apagar, pero no, es sonar. También una bomba, right? Bombs go off. Oh, look at that. A bomb just went off. Y, por supuesto, se conjuga con el go, right? Porque el verbo principal es to go. To go más la preposición off, okay? Also, to go off on a tangent, right? Also, if I say, oh man, she went off on me, me echó una bronca. Okay, so again, context is key because, as you know, many things have many meanings. That's why we have a section called Double Trouble. Excellent job, Chris Valrol. Let's see. Born to Iron Man says, does that new roller coaster go upside down? Absolutely. Does it go upside down? Va? Boca abajo? The next one, he says, you're wearing your t-shirt inside out. Esa es la que buscaba. O sea, cuando tienes la etiqueta por fuera y la costura. Upside down. Boy, you turn me inside out. Come on. Round and round. Sing it. Inside out. Boy, you turn me. You. Upside down. You got it all in that song by Diana Ross. No, me pones al revés, me dejas descolocada es lo que viene a decir. No sé no pierdo la orientación. Inside out, upside down, round and round, you're turning me. Great song, by the way. Not just to learn vocabulary, but just a boogie, to shake that booty, mover ese culete. So great. And the last one, I set the alarm. It'll go off at 6 in the morning. Great job. Or más fácil, 6 a.m. Yo sé que la gente es muy reacia. You guys are really reluctant to use AM and PM. Well, I'm just telling you, if you tell me we're going to meet you at 1800 hours, que es como se diría las 18 de la tarde, las 6 de la tarde. We'll meet you at 1800 hours. You know what I'm going to say? Okay, I'll meet you at the rendezvous point. Let's synchronize our watches. Over and out. Corto y cambio. It's military. We call it military time when people say 1800, 1700 hours. Verás, si ves alguna película militar que así. So we always say 7 p.m. Acuérdate, a mediodía es cuando cambia. Y a medianoche, right? So a medianoche it turns to AM, porque son las primeras horas de la madrugada, hasta las 12 p.m. O sea, this show, interesting thing about this show, it starts in the AM and it ends in the PM. We're on that meridian over there. Oh my God, folks, I can't believe it. We have to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with much more. So stick around. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. This is the show with no name. We're in the second half of today's show, our 2-hour. Eso es sin ese, porque hablamos de adjetivo aquí. Un programa de 2 horas, a 2-hour show. I think it's the longest show on Vaughn Radio. If I'm not mistaken. What does Kyle do? Kyle does an hour and a half, right? Hey, well, thank you guys for sticking with me, for sticking around. I know you know that phrasal verb. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we were taking a look at our translation booklet over there. We looked at inside out, la parte de dentro, hacia afuera, upside down, la parte de arriba, hacia abajo, and backwards. Think about it this way. Michael Jackson danced backwards when he did the moonwalk, right? And you set an alarm. Another very rich word. The sun sets. We set up a meeting. Are you all set? ¿Estás listo? I have a chess set, un juego de ajedrez. So, again, if I say it's a rich word, I think it's got, off the top of my head now, a bote pronto, I just gave you 5, sin pensarlo en absoluto. So, folks, I hope you are all set for the challenges we've got ahead. We're going to kick things off with our homophones. We'll listen to our Say What soundbite for the 3rd time. We've got life hacks, spelling bee, name that movie, famous birthdays, double trouble, and tons of stuff to do here in the second half of today's show. So let's get going with today's homophones on the show with no name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
All right, amigos, let's take a look at what we've got going over here. This is the part where we look at words that, you'll probably be familiar with in many cases. But what I really want to know, too, is do you know how to pronounce it, too? Because, well, I saw a lot of people making mistakes with hurt and heart and burn and barn and et cetera, et cetera. Sheet and shit, right? Words that you don't really want to make a mistake with. You don't want to offer somebody shit when you're really saying sheet. Una sábana, una hoja de papel. All right, so this first one here, okay, is agente de prensa. Okay, agente de prensa. It's also publicitar, anunciar. Okay, so, and it has like kind of like a negative connotation to it. Este viene a vender, ¿no? A publicitar, siempre a anunciar sus cosas. So it would be kind of like that kind of weight, ese peso detrás de la palabra. Now, it also is, and this is very cool here, fuego antiaéreo, aéreo, artillería antiaérea. But also, and this is the way I've heard it used the most, to be honest, crítica. Ha recibido mucha crítica. Okay. Also in British English, they use it with the word jacket to say chaleco antibalas. We would say a different way in the United States, but we'll take a look at that. Okay. So, again, it's a pretty rich word there. Publicitar, hacer de agente de prensa, fuego antiaéreo o artillería, críticas o crítica, and if we put the word jacket with it, it's chaleco antibalas. As I said, we'll take a look at it in context when we reveal the words. Now, the second one is a big group of sheep. Sheep no lleva ese en plural. Sheep, ovejas. Or goats, cabras, okay? Also bandadas, si hablamos de pájaros, so it's rebaño, bandada, okay? It's also feligreses, parroquia. They use it like that as well, which makes sense in the biblical sense. También es ir en masa, no? Ir en manada. So as with many things in English, I was going to say in the United States, well, it means it's a verb and it's a noun, which that's one of the great things about English. You're like, pues, ¿cómo se diría entonces si masa o manada es tal? Pues, ¿cómo se diría ir en masa? Pues, la misma palabra. So, that's in Spanish. Usually it's a different word. It could be a variation of it, but in English, sometimes, many times, it's the same exact word, right? So, leche is milk, right? Y sacar leche de una vaca, ordeñar, to milk. Yeah, that's it. Wow. Okay, tengo plantas, pues, ¿qué tengo que hacer? Echarles agua, tengo que regar. Okay, so I'll water them. So again, it's not always that way, but there are many, many occasions. So the first word is fuego antiaéreo. Me cuesta esa palabra, ¿eh? Crítica, como te digo, yo creo que la forma más común que tú o yo lo usaríamos sería crítica. Okay? Porque, well, unless you guys are in the military, or maybe you work in publicidad, but then again, you're using it in more of a pejorative way, in a negative way, okay? And the second word, again, is rebaño, ir en manada, acudir en manada, multitud, And there you go. Those are your two homophones. Let's see if you know the words and if they sound exactly the same or not. Also, I'm going to give you today's Say What soundbite for the third time. So everybody pay attention.
Well, first of all, if you think about the title, Set the Night to Music, you don't want to just have one kind of music. I mean, maybe somebody has an evening where, there's nothing, it doesn't go anywhere.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughn Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughn Town. That's right, folks. If you want more information about Vaughn Town or any of the amazing initiatives, well, all you have to do is go to grupovaughn.com. Also, make sure you're following us on social media. And, the wonderful thing is you'll be able to get information about anything. And if you don't see the information that you're looking for, no stress whatsoever. You can always reach out to us. You can send us a direct message. You can send us an email. You can contact us via our website, whatever's more comfortable for you. If you want to get information, maybe even for your kids or another family member, somebody will be there to give you that info, to give you the 411. The 411 is la información. 911 es urgencia. 411 es información. ¿Por qué? Well, before we had this thing called the internet, in the United States, if you needed to know what time does the local library close, you would call 411. Y alguien te lo buscaba. Yeah, I don't know. It was an amazing service. And 911, well, that's emergency services. Eso es el 112. All right, let's see what we've got then over here. I'm going to go on over to our chat room and see what you guys had to say about today's homophones. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man says, you can bet on it, AA. The show with no name is the longest show on Vaughn Radio. All right, 2 hours. Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong here. It flies by, doesn't it? Sometimes I'm like, oh, wow, okay. I say it to you sometimes. I said, I wish the rest of my day flew by so quickly. But thank you again. Thank you for making this so fun, even for me, the teacher. All right, let's take a look. Born to Iron Man gives us the two words, and he says they don't sound alike. Okay. Chris Valrol also gives us the two words, and she says they're not homophones, and she gives us the expression, the totally native expression, birds of a feather flock together. Dios los cría y ellos se juntan. Birds of a feather flock together. All right. Let's go in order. Vamos en orden porque así no nos liamos con la que estamos mirando. The first one is flack. Flack. He got a lot of flack for his comments. Por sus comentarios recibió muchas críticas. Flack. Okay. Now it's interesting because you can write it F-L-A-K, o yo lo escribo con C-K. Los dos son correctos. Okay. But if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. No, le estaban como disparando, le están dando críticas, fuego antiaéreo. I don't know. Maybe there's a way to kind of connect those things. Now, I never knew this, as I'm learning things in English here. We call it a bulletproof vest, un chaleco antibalas, bulletproof vest. They call it, I guess, the British, a flak jacket. a flak jacket. So yes, flak. So I'll give you the examples here on word reference so you can hear it in context. The publisher, editorial, has been flacking the new novel for over a month now. Okay, to publicize, anunciar. Okay, they got a lot of flack because it was offensive. Recibieron muchas críticas porque fue ofensivo. All right, flack. And people did not flock to the premiere. They got a lot of flack, and people did not flock to the premiere. They do not sound the same. Great job. Born to Iron Man and Chris Valrol. So the first one, flack, say it with me. Flack rhymes with rack, rhymes with track, pack, back, sack, y volvemos, flack. Okay, rack, sack, flack, tack. That's the sound. The second one is flock, lock, sock, calcetín. Okay, mock, burlarse de alguien. Okay, talk, tick tock, tick tock. We don't say tack, we say talk. Tick tock rhymes with flock. So, folks, excellent job. It's a regular verb. Regular, con ed. People flocked to the premiere. Flocked. Acudieron en masa. All right, guys, excellent job. We even got the totally native saying there from Chris. Birds of a feather flock together. Otra vez, se dice tanto que basta con decir birds of a feather. All right, my amigos, we're going to move on, though, because it's time for a section where we look at these little tricks that can help us get by in life. They're called life hacks.
These are the life hacks you need to know.
That's right, folks. Life hacks. Well, today, you know what? I figured we could take a look at some reading hacks. You know, because there are, like with everything, I think, eating. I mean, there are even eating. You're thinking eating, pero yo sé comer. Do you eat? Do you chew your food? Do you swat? Do you take your time? Do you right? So there's always several ways to do things, and there's always a more efficient way, or a way that's healthier in the case of, chewing your food. That's not what we're looking at. As I said, today we're going to look at some reading hacks. But if I had to give you an eating hack without even thinking about it, I'd say, well, chew your food, eat slowly, right? Something I need to remind myself many times, because the saliva, the more you break down the food in your mouth and in your digestive tract, well, the less work your body's going to have to do later, correct? That's in a very non-scientific way that I expressed it, but it's true. And it's something so there are always ways to do it. There's no right or wrong way to read, but there are ways that we can boost our efficiency and retention. Now, some people think this is silly, but I personally love doing it, and I do it with my daughter too. And this is using a visual pacer. Now, a pacer es lo que te marca el ritmo, el tiempo. What does that mean? Your finger, your pen, a bookmark, where you're literally highlighting what you're looking at, like a karaoke. Okay, pongo el dedo, la bolita, that, right? And this can boost your speed, velocidad, a lo que lees, up to about 25% just by marking it and see, think about it. It's hand-eye coordination, como lo llamamos en inglés. La coordinación entre el ojo y la mano. Very important in sports, right? Te tiran el balón. Your eye has to tell your hand, go, before you get hit in the face with the ball, right? So that is one thing we can do to at least improve our speed. Okay, that's not so much a retention one, but if you're reading, for example, on your computer or something, maybe it's an article. You're like, I'm not reading a book. Use your cursor, your mouse. I do that a lot too. When I'm reading an important email, it just helps me not lose my place. One thing less that I have to think about, and I can focus on what I'm reading and not, ¿dónde está? ¿Estaba aquí o estaba, right? So you can find where you are at all times, okay? And it prevents backtracking. Backtracking. Oh, tengo que volver a leer esa frase porque no me entero, right? ¿Dónde estaba? This kind of getting lost stuff, okay? Now, the idea here too as well, and you know this, read aloud. Now, reading aloud could slow you down a little bit, okay? Because if you're just reading it in your head, you can kind of half read it. But that's for language learning, I don't recommend that. If you want to read faster in your own language, well, there's a great trick. But in your case, I wouldn't skimp, no escatimo aquí, and I would definitely take your time reading those words aloud, right? And you'll see how you'll improve. So it's not just improving, oh, now I can read faster, but I sound better as well, okay? Another thing as well, eliminate distractions. I mean, this is rule number one, I guess, in doing anything, whether it's working or whether it's trying to finish up a novel that you just can't finish because you can't find 20 minutes to read it, you know? And there are many different techniques as well that are used when we're reading. There are official techniques. In fact, there's the SQ3R method. This is new to me. I didn't know about it. I mean, it makes sense, and I do this stuff, but the way to make sure that you really get everything, and this is more about, again, comprehension and retention than speed, is the SQ3R method, which is survey. Okay, survey es como pasar con los ojos, sondear, pero también es survey the page. Question, read, recite, and review. Okay, now, of course, you're not going to remember all that stuff, but all of those things combined or alone can help you retain more information. And if you're one of these people who say, I just can't sit down for 5 minutes, I don't have 10 minutes in my day to read a chapter of a book, thankfully, and this is great for language learners, thankfully, we have audiobooks too. So that's a way that you can make sure as well that you are getting some literature, or reading a novel, whether it be fiction or nonfiction. But just like everything in life, there are little hacks, and we like to look at them on the section called Life Hacks. But right now, it's time to move on to our Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
Expression: an upward or a downward trend. This week, we were describing graphs in English. Professionals don't just say sales go up, they say there's an upward trend. For example, there's an upward trend in sales this quarter, or we're seeing a downward trend in profits. These expressions are essential for clear business communication. Understanding this helps professionals prepare better and feel more confident. Exactly what we work on in the Executive Master.
That's right, folks. More information about the Executive Master at Vaughan, go to grupovaughn.com, and also make sure you're following on social media. This is round one of today's Spelling Bee. Here we go. The first one is Jane space AUSTEN. The second one is PRIDE space AND space PREJUDICE. The third one is PUBLISHED. And the fourth one, UNI TED space KINGDOM. The fifth one is ELIZABETH space BENNET. The sixth one and final one is T period space EGERTON, comma, space WHITEHALL. Oh my God, I'm out of breath. He quedado sin aliento aquí. All right. Oof. Let's see if anybody got it on the first go. Let's see. Going once, going twice. Anybody? I've got to start it in just another 15, 20 seconds or so. Let's ring the bell. This way we get a head start anyway. All right, I'm going to start them in 3. Oh, hang on. Chris Valrol, the first one is correct. The second one is correct. The third, fourth, fifth. Ooh, ouch. A little mistake at the end there in that last one. Oh, Chris, I was rooting for you. All right, well, don't worry. Here's round 2. The first one is JANE space AUSTEN. Number 2, PRIDE space AND space PREJUDICE. The third one, PUBLISHED. The fourth one is UNITED space KINGDOM. The fifth one is ELIZABETH space BENNET. And the last one is T period space EGERTON, comma, space WHITEHALL. Folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break, our final commercial break. It looks like Born to Iron Man. You got it, buddy. Also, Chris coming back. She got it on the second go. Excellent job. Born to Iron Man and Chris knocking it out of the park in today's Spelling Bee. Folks, we have got tons of stuff to do in the fourth and final part of today's show. Music, movies, and so much more. So, stick around. Welcome back. Welcome back, my amigos. This is the fourth and final part of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget to stay tuned. Right after today's show, you can continue to learn English with Ale in her wonderful program, Speaking with Confidence. Oh, yeah. Great show. It's a new one. And I've got to say, Ale is kicking ass. Arrasando. Si no quieres decir la vulgaridad ass, puedes decir butt. El significado es igual. Same meaning. In that way, ass isn't such an offensive word. But it's still, you never know. Some people are offended by vocabulary. Some people are offended by everything. So that means the rest of us have to walk around on eggshells. And it's not pisar huevos. I used to get confused with this one in Spanish. To walk around on eggshells es estar preocupado con todo lo que dices. Let's see, eggshells. Let's see what it says here. Porque claro, en español, walk around on eggshells. It means you're treading carefully. Tienes mucho cuidado. Mucha precaución porque la has cagado o algo. All right, my amigos, let's see what we've got going on here for the fourth and final part of today's show. Why don't we kick things off with double trouble, yeah.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is.
Give it up, 2, 3.
Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
Common mistake. To be, agree. Something I corrected just the other day was I am or I'm agree with you. In English, we simply say, I agree with you. For example, I agree with your proposal, or I completely agree. It's a tiny change, but a very important one. These distinctions are crucial in interviews, and they're exactly the kind of details we train in the Executive Master at Grupo Balkan.
All right, folks, Executive Master at grupovon.com. If you want more information, you know where to get it. All right, well, folks, today I've got to tell you, today's double trouble. If you think it's tough, don't take it out on me. No lo tomes conmigo. You're barking up the wrong tree. Estás ladrando por el árbol equivocado, as we say. Blame Laura. Ooh, all right. So this one comes from our Italian amiga, our international amiga, Laura. So let's see how you guys do. She wanted to put you to the test in our double trouble. All right, here we go. Si no terminas la conversación ahora mismo, seguirá durante horas y horas. It's a great one, Laura. Thank you for sending it to us. Also, Elena sent me one recently as well, which we'll be taking a look at. So, guys, great. It's a great way for you to reinforce things you're learning and also to share them with your fellow classmates, because sharing is caring. Eso es. Sharing is caring, va la expresión en inglés. All right. So, si no terminas la conversación ahora mismo, seguirá durante horas y horas. That is your double trouble. Oh, and it's not hours and hours. No sé, let's not be, let me clear something up here. It's not, and the conversation will go on for hours and hours. Okay? Porque horas y horas es lo que viene a explicar un poco aquí. Laura. ¿Ok? So, si no terminas la conversación ahora mismo, seguirá durante horas y horas. That's your Double Trouble, sponsored by one of your fellow students today. All right. Also, I'm going to give you the Say What soundbite for the fourth time. I don't think anybody's gotten it yet, so it's a tough one. It's tougher than I thought. Here it is for the fourth and final time.
Well, first of all, if you think about the title, Set the Night to Music, you don't want to just have one kind of music. I mean, maybe somebody has an evening where, there's nothing, it doesn't go anywhere.
Alberto, viene Tom Cruise al hormiguero y tengo que decirle una cosa. Tengo que decirle, vamos al lío. ¿Cómo se lo digo?
Vamos al lío, tío. Eso es facilísimo. Piensa en la canción de DJ Tiesto. Let's get down to business. Give me one more time
together.
Let's get down
to business. Let's get down to business. Ah, lo sabía, pero no sabía que lo sabía. Aprende inglés con canciones, películas, videojuegos, series, personajes, onomatopeyas. Todas las cosas que te rodean están en inglés, pero no te das cuenta de que ya las tienes en la cabeza. Solamente hay que colocarlas. Y para eso, utiliza nuestro tercer libro, This Book is the Shit, por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender.
Oh, yeah. That's right, folks. This book is The Shit. You can pick it up wherever fine books are sold. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man taking a stab at our double trouble. Let's see how he did. He says, if you don't end the conversation right now, it'll on and on. Okay, I'm going to give it to you because I like but you're missing the word go. It'll go. So that's okay. I'll take it. Porque no has dicho hours and hours. Okay, I'll take it. Yeah. Lo único, añadimos ahí un go. To go on es seguir, right? Si no es preposición, preposición. So if you don't end the conversation right now, it'll go on and on and on. Y puedes añadir las que quieras ahí. Depende de cuánto dura. All right. Oh, so nobody knows the one Laura. It's good. I'll take it. But it's not the one that Laura wanted to show us. All right, well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you some more time while we take a look at our spelling bee words. Again, Born to Iron Man and Chris Valrol. Today's words had to do with Jane Austen, the author Jane Austen, and her novel Pride and Prejudice. Ojo, he oído mucha gente decir prejudice. Lo entiendo porque ice es hielo y es como acaba, pero ahí no es ice, sino is. Vamos a decirlo. Pride and Prejudice. Okay? And pride is el orgullo and proud is orgulloso. I've heard students mix those two up. So again, pride, sustantivo, el orgullo, right? I have a lot of pride. I'm very proud, adjetivo, okay? Que es orgulloso. So again, take note there. Okay, so yes, Pride and Prejudice was first published, editado, publicado today in the United Kingdom, and the year was 1813, 1813. Now, something I didn't know about this was the second novel that she published, the third that she wrote. So she didn't publish them in order. And you know how old she was when she wrote this one? One of her, magnum opuses over here. She was 20 to 21. So from 20 to 21 years old, writing a novel that would, go down in history. And still, there are movies made about, this is obviously a hit, a huge hit. And now, if you guys want to read it, a couple reading hacks that we looked at before. So number one was, her name, the author, Jane Austen. Number two, the name, Pride and Prejudice. Number three, it was published. We don't say editado, because edited would be quitaron cosas, ¿no? To edit es, piensa como editar, quitar, right? Like if we're editing audio or video, ¿no? Cortando, juntando cosas. So it was published in the United Kingdom, which is number four. The lead character, is Elizabeth Bennet. It follows the life of Elizabeth Bennet. And number 6 was the publisher, la editorial, which is T. Egerton Whitehall. So T. Egerton, comma, Whitehall was the last one. Excellent job to my amazing students. Classic. Classic. All right, let's see. Did anybody else take a stab at the double trouble? All right, well, Laura, good job, because, well, even though Iron Man came up with his own version, nobody got the one. Oh, hang on. I spoke too soon. Let's see. Chris Valrol says, if you don't end the conversation right now, it'll go on for hours on end. The only thing is for, has puesto cuatro, cuando sería for durante, F-O-R. So tienes una U de más ahí. You got it. That's the one. Hay que hacer esos ajustes. So if you don't end the conversation right now, it will go on, seguirá, for hours on end. On end, juntándose uno tras otro. So hours on end. Excellent job, Chris. A little typo. Son homófonos, for, pero en este caso es F-O-R. Let's see. Born to Iron Man's like, I got another one for you. Okay. If you don't end the conversation right now, it'll be a never-ending one. Lo compro. Also, Chris, that applause is for you for nailing today's Say What soundbite. Excellent job. And Chris, since you know the title of the album, then you know the artist, and you can get inside my brain today because we already looked at the artist's name at some point in today's show. You know, I love to drop these little clues all throughout the show. All right, well, folks, we will move on now to the movies. Name that movie. Yes. All right, here we go, folks. Today's Name That Movie. A high school teacher meets his match in an overachieving student politician. Okay, short and sweet. So a high school, vamos a pronunciar esa palabra porque he oído miles y miles de veces high school, que queréis colar la E ahí. ¿Qué si lo juntamos? Highs. Y pones la S con high school. No puedes meter la E. So, piensa que la S va con la segunda palabra. High school. High school. A high school teacher meets his match. Conoce a su rival. Meets his match in an overachieving student politician. Con un político estudiante que es overachieving. Overachieving, que hace más de lo que piensa. Siempre está cumpliendo cosas. Overachieving. A ver, an underachiever is Bart Simpson. De hecho, le llamaban, había una camiseta, Bart Simpson, underachiever. Well, an overachiever is Lisa Simpson. Toma. That's a good way to overachieving, que sobresales, so destacas, right? And underachieving, usually it's academically, by the way. Right? We're talking about academically. So if you're an underachiever, las notas no dan la talla. If you're an Lisa, overachiever. Like, okay, you're A's versus ace. All right, let's take a look at the scene. The character Tracy Flick, not Flack, and not flock, but flick. And flick es hacer lo que haces con los mocos with a booger, or lo que hacías maybe when you were younger. I hope you don't do it still. To flick, right? To flick a booger. También flick es película, right? So Tracy Flick, narrando, says, you might think it upset me, que me disgustó, that Paul Metzler had decided to run against me. Presentarse en contra de mí, ¿no? Como mi oposición. So to run against someone, right? Donald Trump ran against Kamala Harris in the last United States elections, okay? So to run against someone. To run for office es presentarse, but to run against someone is presentarse contra tal persona, okay? But nothing could be further from the truth. No hay, o sea, eso es una mentira enorme. Nothing could be further from the truth. He was no competition for me. A mí no me dio ninguna competencia. It was like apples and oranges. Esto es una expresión que significa, era como comparar cosas que no se pueden comparar. Incomparable, right? Apples and oranges. Tú me estás hablando de manzanas, yo de naranjas. No, es incomparable. No podemos comparar. No tiene nada que ver. I had to work a little harder. That's all. Eso es todo. Tenía que dar un poco más de empeño. You see, I believe in the voters. Yo creo en los votantes. They understand that elections aren't just popularity contests. They know this country was built by people just like me who work very hard and don't have anything handed to them on a silver spoon. Now, we usually would say on a silver platter, una bandeja de plata. But the expression to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth, cuna de oro. Okay, so kind of mixing two expressions there. Not like some rich kids who everybody likes because their fathers own Metzler Cement, Hormigón Metzler, que es la empresa, and they give them trucks, les dan camiones on their 16th birthday. And they throw them big parties all the time, les ponen unos fiestones. No, they don't ever have to work for anything. They think they can just all of a sudden, repentinamente, okay, one day out of the blue, un día desde la nada, waltz right in here, okay? And to waltz in is entrar como tú bien quieres, right? To waltz, hacer un vals, right? El baile. You can't just waltz in here and tell everybody what to do. No, entrar como a tu manera, poniendo, no, tu, putting your will into it, right? To waltz in. And with no qualifications whatsoever, cualquiera. And try to take away what other people have worked very, very hard for their entire lives. No, didn't bother me at all. All right, let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen. Our movie queen, Chris Valrol. And it's election. That's right, election. Let's see. Say what? Chris says, say what? I don't know if it's firstable. Yeah, I know who the fantastic artist is. No, it's not firstable because it's not a word. So it would be first of all. Creo que al ver tu palabra, first of all, en primer lugar. So I think that's what you're looking for over there, Chris Valrol. All right, folks, it's time for your joking.
Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right, folks. We've got some book jokes here for you today. And did I tell you, I got my friend, I finally got my friend to read Jane Austen. Hey, we looked at Jane Austen in our spelling bee. Yeah. Well, she just needed a little persuasion. ¿Lo pillas? Persuadirle, tuve que but the book, her last novel, su última novela se llama Persuasion. Jane Austen. Bueno, tienes que ser fan de Jane Austen para saber esa. So I got my friend to read Jane Austen. She just needed a little persuasion. All right, one more. Why did the dog run after the book? Why did the dog run after, perseguir, the book? He was chasing his tail. No, Tail, T-A-I-L, cola. Tail, T-A-L-E, cuento. He was chasing his tail. All right. You are lucky. I only have 2 jokes for you on today's You're Joking, but we're going to move on to famous birthday trivia.
Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Famous birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, folks. It's famous birthday trivia. And number 1 is his name is Acantilado. Well, his name was Acantilado. ¿Sabes decir acantilado en inglés? Pues ya lo tienes ahí. He was the bassist for the heavy metal band Metallica. That's right. From 1982 until his death in 1986, when he died following a bus crash in Sweden. So he met an untimely death. They were touring to support the Master of Puppets album. All right? Metallica fans, you'll definitely know him. Number 2, this American director, producer, and screenwriter was born today in 1961. He did the film Election. Oh, today's name that movie? Yep, Election. Also, About Schmidt with Jack Nicholson. Also, Sideways. Bueno, hemos mirado upside down, inside out, pues Sideways, de lado. The Descendants, Downsizing, and so much more. And his last name, si no lo ves escrito, significa dolor. And last but not least, she's killing my pain with this finger. Killing my words with... And her last name is Crítica. Es fuego antiaéreo. Nunca me sale esa palabra. Crítica en inglés. So, yeah, we looked at her last name and how to pronounce it. But she's sung so many songs, not just Killing Me Softly, Feel Like Making Love, The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. In general, they are love songs about love found and love lost. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. Give it up for Chris Valrol. Number 1, Acantilado Burton. Cliff Burton, the bassist of Metallica, who lost his life in a bus accident. Number 2, Alexander Payne. And number 3, Roberta Flack. And now you know what her name means. Roberta Flack. She didn't get too much flack. ¿Por qué? Es que cantaba genial. Why was she going to get any flack? Crítica. And this is her in our Say What soundbite. She's talking about her new album at the time of this interview, Set the Night to Music. Ambienta la noche. Otro uso de set. Fíjate, hemos visto set bastante hoy. Well, first of all, en primer lugar, if you think of the title, Set the Night to Music, you don't just want to have one kind of music. So she's saying she kind of has different genres on the same album, no? Diferentes géneros en el mismo disco. And she's saying, well, maybe somebody has an evening where there's nothing and it doesn't go anywhere. Pues necesitas música para eso también. So that's what she's saying. It's kind of an album that's for any given night because it's quite varied in the kinds of music she's got on it. And the title of the album she's referring to, she mentions, Set the Night to Music. So here she is. Don't give her any flack. Críticas. It's Roberta Flack.
Well, first of all, if you think about the title, Set the Night to Music, you don't want to just have one kind of music. I mean, maybe somebody has an evening where, there's nothing, it doesn't go anywhere.
All right, folks, that applause is for you. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure being with you today, as always, teaching you English, learning things myself as well. And I thank you all so much. Just a quick reminder, practice your speaking with us in our question of the week. You still have time for this week's question of the week. And we are going to say goodbye with a kick-ass song. Una canción que arrasa. It is Metallica's song Sad But True. Triste, pero cierto, pero verdad. Sad But True, que es una frase hecha en inglés que usamos. Oh, yeah, Sad But True. It's a song that came out in 1991. And if you want to follow along, let's do it. Yes. Thank you, everybody. Let's rock.